Today, we're going to take a look at how to recreate my Webclipper dashboard in Notion. This is a templatized version of a dashboard that I use. It's essentially a place that connects my browser extension and my Notion workspace. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do here today. And it is going to be from scratch, so if you are a new user, this may be really helpful. I'm going to go over how to create databases, how to create linked databases, and even go into formulas. So we're going to go from beginner to a little bit of advanced. So there are a couple links down below. One is the completed template to duplicate, and another is a page to follow along. Let's just get right into it. This is what the final dashboard is going to look like. We're going to call it clips, and we're going to give it a few different blocks or sections. Now, there are 3 different databases. One for all of the web clippings coming in from the web, one for projects, and one for areas. On the left-hand side, we do have some links up here which we will recreate. Below that are Webclipper portals. These are the areas. These are kind of the broad areas a clipping might fall under. So we're going to create that, and of course we're also going to create the web clipping database. It's going to be called All Clips. And we're going to have a few different database views. One for active clips, or clips from the web that have not yet been archived. All the way down at the bottom, it's going to be where all of the archived clips go, grouped by tags. So there's going to be an option for each clipping to sort it into a more specific tag. The next, we're going to categorize all of these clippings by type, like tweets, resources, articles. We'll be able to also see images inside of these gallery cards, and tools, etc. So let's go back to the dashboard and also take a look at projects. So what I want to do is show you how you can use an extension called Save to Notion that allows you not only to save, say, an article, but to also connect that saved article to a pending project, or maybe an idea you may have. So we're going to create a very simple projects database. That's just a Kanban. And I'm going to show you, for instance, let's look at this idea, list of Notion resources for power users. So I'm going to be using the Webclipper a lot for this idea. I want to collect all of the different Notion resources and tools for this article. So you'll see a relation from Webclipper that I can click on and see all of the relevant clippings. So I'm going to show you how we can connect the Webclipper to task management. And also how to create this neat dashboard. So let's just clear all of this out and recreate it. The first thing we want to do is create those 3 databases. So firstly, let's say /table, and let's do the clippings database, because that's going to be the main one. So let's say inline. Clips. And I had that dot before clips. It's just Alt or Option on Mac and the number 8. That's just an aesthetic choice. Let's look at these properties. So the first one, tags, we're actually going to keep that there. The next one is going to be type. So type can be a few different things. This is up to you. I'm going to put in some examples. First one could be an article. The next one, a tweet, a resource, a video, maybe from YouTube, and so on, maybe a tool as well. So now that we have those, you can change the colors, of course. Hide that for now. And tags. Next one, let's make a checkbox for archive. Turn it into a checkbox, and the purpose for this is going to be to create that archived list. So if you have a lot of saved clippings to the clips database and it gets a little bit out of hand, you notice that there's some clippings that you don't really use anymore but you'd like to keep on the back burner, this is a good checkbox to make. Speaking of checkboxes, let's make another one for favorite. So we can isolate ones that you want to see in the dashboard. Next is obviously a URL. This is the link. And let's go to URL property, hide that as well. And the last one is going to be an image. This will help if you want to create a gallery view with images, maybe the front image of an article. So let's turn this into a files and media property and hide that as well. So that's a good amount of properties to start with. Let's just open up this empty page, take a look at all of our properties here and arrange them. Maybe put the checkboxes at the bottom for now. Something like that. And let's just go on and create the next database. But first, let's turn this into a page. At these three dots here, let's turn into page and then / table again. Inline table database. Or let's do gallery. Let's do the area. So / gallery inline and name this one areas. And put that dot at the beginning. So for this one, let's add some properties inside the actual page. We can keep created if you want. I'm going to delete it. Delete tags as well. All I want to do here is add a property that connects to the database we just made, the clippings database. So web clippings, property type, relation. So that's under advanced. Relations allow you to connect databases together. I'm going to select a database, which is clips. We go back to the dashboard and click on clips. We should see a backlink relation related to areas. Let's call this area. Back to the home page. So now that we have that one connection to areas, that's all we really need. Let's turn areas into a page as well. And then create just an example of a task management database, which we're also going to connect to clips. So /, let's actually create a page right away. Page. So when you create a new page in Notion, it's going to send you right to the page. And what I can do here, maybe call this projects, and go to templates. So Notion has a great list of starter templates for you to choose from. That's what we're going to do here. I'm going to go to personal and task list. Delete their sample data here. This is a board view or a Kanban style. So if we're to add a new one under to do, I can drag it under doing and done. So let's add another one for archive. Maybe make this one purple. I can also show description that Notion gives you. Let's add a new one under to do just to configure the properties, which we can do inside the page. And let's add a property that connects to clips again. So web clips, or from Webclipper, let's call it. Make it a relation property again and find clips. Delete that. Back to the home page. And I do want to get rid of that icon. You can keep it or change it by clicking on the icon, even in the link, and removing it. Inside the page, you can also do that here, add icon. Let's rename this actually to projects. And now we have everything here. Let's go back to clips because there's going to be that backlink from projects that we need to figure out. So I'm going to click on the empty table, go into a page. Here it is, related to task list. Let's say to project or to task, whatever you want to call it. So we had from Webclipper to project. And here what I want to do, I don't always want to see this here. I only want to see it if it's populated. So I'm going to click on the title, go down to hide property, and hide when empty. So there's 3 different options you have for hiding properties. You'll see that it is now hidden via this toggle. You have 3 different options. You have always show, only hide when empty, and always hide. All right, now we have everything pretty much set up. Let's go into the Chrome extension saved to Notion and set up some Webclipper forms so we can connect a browser into this Notion dashboard. Okay, so let's go on over to Save to Notion. Links down in the description, and the follow along link also has it. So once you get there, you're going to see this page, and this button will say probably Save to Chrome. Now once you're able to do that, you will see a little icon at the top called Notion Saver, and this looks like a little send icon. Once you have that set up, let's create some forms. So I'm going to go to my Twitter to do this. Click that button, and if you're new to Save to Notion, you shouldn't have any forms here, and it may tell you to log into Notion first. So you're going to add a form, choose your workspace. So if you have more than one, choose the one you want it to go to. Select the database. In this case, we just created one called Clips. There's going to be a button here called 3 more fields. Make sure to select and to show everything we're working with. I'm also going to change the title of this form to clipping, and in parentheses, I'm going to put link. So whenever we're clipping a website or an article and we do not want the body of the article inside of Notion, because we can do that, we're going to choose this one, and then we're going to create another form if we do want to save the entire content of the page. The icon, I do not want to be the website icon. I'm just going to press X there and maybe delete field. Content image, we don't need that either. So now I'm going to add all of the fields that I have in my Clips database. So select a property and image, add a new field. Let's pick some tags. Also a type, and so on. And the next one can be area, and maybe to project. So if we want to select a project to send this to, we can do it right here in the form. And favorite. I'm going to press save and go back. And let's select one of my tweets here. Click on clipping link, and it's going to give us all these options to fill out. So I'm just going to minimize this a bit and change the title to just new post incoming, or maybe just date, time, Notion formulas. The type is going to be tweet. I can add a tag here. Let's say formulas and Notion. Let's say I'm trying to get into Notion consulting, and this article will help me. So consulting. And then to project. Let's say there's a project I want to do that is create a formula archive template. Create and add new page. Now let's go back to Notion. You'll notice that it has populated inside of our Clips database. Open it up. And all of those properties have been filled out appropriately. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So if we go to areas, we now have a consulting area link. And in web clippings, it's giving us that clip. And in projects, under no status, we do have create a formula archive template, which I can drag into to do. Actually, let's rename this to idea. So this is just an idea right now. Awesome. Back to the home page, and let's go ahead and create that other form and save an article to this dashboard. So back to Chrome, let's look at this recipe article. This is something I would want to save the entire article, the entire body of the page, over into Notion. So let's create, going back, let's create a new form. Not to Notion Ambassadors, but to Sarah. Clips. And let's do the same thing. So let's show these three fields, get rid of that icon and that content image. URL is fine. Image is going to be the page image, which will likely be this image here. I'll show you how you can change that though if there's more than one image in the article. Let's show tags, area, type, to project, and favorite. And let's call this one full page. And make sure that clip page content is checked on. Click full page. It should give us the title of the article here, which I'm just going to edit a little bit. Tags, let's do recipe dinner. In area food and meal, let's just create that area here. You'll notice that consulting is now an option to choose from. And type is going to be article. And this is not going to be connected to a project. And let's click favorite just so we can take a look at how we can manipulate that field. So you'll notice that the image, yes, is the cover image, but let's change that. So I can click on the image and select a few things. I can either select an image on the screen, take a full page screenshot, or just take a custom area screenshot. So let's just select an image, and you can go down the article, and maybe I want to select this one here. You'll see a plus, a green plus sign next to the cursor, indicating that you can save it as an image. So let's save that one, and there it is. Let's add this new page to the Notion database. Back to Notion, and clips, and our second entry is here with everything filled out, including an image. And the body of the page has the recipe. Back to clips and areas, we now have a food and meal area with that web clipping attached to it. So before we go ahead and customize all of this inside of Notion, let's go back to Chrome and just start web clipping everything to at least get started and make sense of this dashboard. So the next thing I have here is Automate I/O. I'm going to save this as a Notion tool. I'm going to use the form clipping link. With the title to just be Automate I/O, that's going to be the image. Tag it as Notion and automation maybe, and a web app. Type is going to be a tool, in area content creation maybe, and to project, list of Notion tools for power users. That'll be an article I maybe want to work on. Awesome. Add new page. Let's go on to actually an article from my website. I actually want to do 2 articles from my website because I want to show you how you can group different clippings by the website name. We'll get into that. But let's save this one as a full page. I'm going to edit this title. Tag is going to be Notion and maybe advice. Area is going to be content creation. Type can be article, and that's it. Let's also favorite this one. Let's go on to the next one. This one is a website that can give you a lot of nice minimal icons for Notion. Let's just do a clipping. And for tags, Notion and design. Type is going to be a resource, area, maybe content creation. And let's send this to the list of Notion tools for power users. Favorite that as well. So the next one is a tweet. Found that I thought was really helpful. Tools for building in public. And I'm going to do full page for this because it is a tweet. And if you select a clipping that is a tweet and select to put the tweet into the body of the page, it will show up as an embed, which is super useful. Build in public can be the tag. Area can be content creation. Type is tweet. Here is a YouTube video. So we can save this. We can either save as a full page to get that video into the body of the page, but I don't really want to do that because I'm probably not going to watch it inside of Notion. So I'm going to choose clipping. You'll notice that the image that showed up is actually the thumbnail of this video. Tags is going to be art, tutorial. Type is a video, area, artwork. And maybe I want to create a project here as well. Maybe have an idea to create a lo-fi study music series. Create that. Add new page. And another article from my website. And I want to save this article, but I don't want to save the whole thing. Maybe there's only 2 tips in here that I really want to save. What I want to do is go to clipping, edit the title, tag it as Notion, type is an article, area is maybe consulting, and content creation. You can do multiple areas. And project, no projects, but I am going to favorite it. So I'm going to add this page, and then I'm going to go to the body of the article and take what I want. So let's say I want this tip here. I'm going to highlight the section, right click, and go to add highlight. Maybe go down to this one here and do the same thing. Okay, let's go back to Notion. Go to clips, got everything in here. Now date and time Notion formula is the one we just made. Let's take a look at that. It's giving you for every highlight, turning it into a bullet point. So you may need to adjust things a little bit depending on the format of the article. Now let's just focus on Notion and organizing everything. So I want to change up this view. I want it to be a list view. So let's add a view called list and just delete that original table. And I'm going to go to properties and I want to show the area, the link so I can click right to it from here, and the type. Maybe drag that underneath. I can also sort this alphabetically, name ascending, or by created time. So you can create a timestamp. Let's go into one of these pages and create that property. So add a property, created, and down to advanced, created time. That will create a timestamp, and we can hide that. And sort by created time, ascending, or descending for the latest at the top. So for the filter here, I'm going to have archive is unchecked. Add another view, list view, rename that one to archived, and this top one here to active. So in the same way, let's sort by created descending, show maybe the archive checkbox, the area, and the type. And let's say we want to archive this lo-fi looping GIF tutorial. Check that off. So I'm going to filter archive is checked. So it will only show that one. Now the follow along page has a list of images if you haven't already looked at it. So I'm going to paste in some of those images to the covers. And this is going to be the clips image. So you can add a cover right up here, change cover. There are a few options. Either upload, link, or you can choose some royalty-free images. I'm going to paste in that link. Just reposition it like that. So let's create yet another database view. Maybe let's compile all resources. Make it a gallery. So this is showing absolutely everything we clipped. I'm going to go to Properties, Card Preview. Let's make it none. You'll notice there is an option to show the image. And small card size. And let's show the URL. So when you show the URL, you're able to actually click through to that link via the card, which is convenient. Now we're going to create a filter that says type is resource and archive is unchecked. And maybe we can sort this alphabetical, or we can sort it created descending again. Now I want to create a view that looks just like this, but I want it just for articles. So an easy way to duplicate is to go to that view, go to the three dots, and duplicate. It will say the name, resources, and then 1. That'll be the copy. So I can also rename it. Let's rename this to articles. And in filter, it does duplicate the filter as well. Let's just change type is article. And in properties for this one, it'd be nice to see that image as the card preview. Let's make yet another view for tweets. This time, let's make it a list. And let's show tags, area, and URL. Go to filter. Again, we're going to make sure that the type is a tweet. And archive is unchecked. And we can sort by date created descending. Okay, so we have different database views for different types of clips, but let's categorize this by tag. So let's create a new view called grouped by tags and make this one a board view. Just going to drag this up under active. Make sure our filters are in place. Make sure that archive is unchecked. And in a group, let's, instead of grouping by type, do it by tags. Few options. We can hide empty groups and color the columns. We have a lot under Notion, so let's bring that over here. Maybe change some colors around. I can also sort this by date created descending. And in properties, show the URL. So I wonder if we can group this a little bit further. For articles, can I group all articles coming from redgregory.com or A Beautiful Plate? It's going to require a formula. So let's take a look at this one here. From this URL string, I'm going to extract the string redgregory.com. So I want everything else to go away, and I want this to be the case for every URL. So I'm going to show properties, go to add a property, and type URL name. in property type, down in advanced formula. Drag this up under URL, and let's get started. So the first thing I need to do is use the replace function. I'm going to use the replace all function. Now inside these parentheses, I want to choose URL because that's the string that we're working with. Comma, I want to replace a string with something else. What do I want to replace? I want to replace everything maybe before https://. So I'm going to say dot star indicating before https://. You'll notice that disappeared. The next thing I want to do is wrap this, say replace all. This is our new string, comma, what string do I want to match and replace it with? I want to replace everything before www dot. So dot star www dot. I'm going to wrap this one more time, replace all, comma, quote, parentheses. Now everything after the slash. So let's put in brackets, slash, and now because we're looking at characters after, the dot star is going to go after. So the reason why I put this in brackets is because it's a single special character, so I like to do that. There we go, we have redgregory.com, the URL name. So what can we do with this? Firstly, let's make sure we hide when empty. Great. Go back to our database here, and let's create a new view called articles by name or URL name. Make it a list. Get some properties in here, tags, area, and URL. Drag this under articles, and we're going to group by URL name. Exact. Hide empty groups. And look at that. Even under Twitter, we have both of those clippings coming from twitter.com. But we do want to add a filter here because it is for articles. Type is article. Nice. Let's do kind of the same thing with tweets. I'm going to duplicate tweets, and I'm going to group by Twitter handle, so the profile. Let's just rename that to tweets by handle. This is going to be a similar formula. So what we're doing, open hidden properties, let's add one called Twitter handle. Property type, formula, and I want to hide when empty. So from a Twitter URL, I want to be able to, for instance, Eliza Butler MD. So between /status and twitter.com. That's the handle. So firstly, we need to make an if statement. So only if type equals tweet, then execute this formula. Otherwise, false condition, leave a blank space. Close that out. So in here, we're going to use that replace function. So let's just delete those quotes. So if it is the case that it is a tweet, replace all. Technically, you don't need to use all, you could just use the replace function. So within these parentheses, again, we're going to grab the URL, comma, match a string and replace it with a blank space. So we're going to match everything before twitter.com / say dot star twitter.com /. Now we have the handle there, but we also need to get rid of everything after /status. So let's nest this. Right here, comma, quote, parentheses. let's replace everything after /status. So the dot star is going to be at the end. That's what the finished formula is going to look like. Of course, all formulas will be available to copy and paste via the links below. And I can put them in the descriptions as well. So if we go back to clips, we're going to group by Twitter handle. Exact. Hide empty groups. And there you go. Let's go back to the dashboard and prepare the areas database. I'm going to go to properties and make sure that card preview is none and maybe card size is small. That looks nice. And in projects, let's just keep it how it is. Maybe in grouping, color the columns. Again, because we added some more things to projects via the Webclipper, I'm going to go to no status and drag some of these over to idea. All right, back to the dashboard. Let's create it. So the first thing I want to do is create two different columns at the top. Let's highlight this block here. Go to the block menu, color, maybe a blue background. I'm going to highlight the block and go Command D to duplicate and just drag that block over to the side here. Now we have two different columns. In this first column, I want to link to archived bookmarks. So let's go /quote. I want to put this in a quote block. Archived bookmarks. Let's enter down, maybe another quote block. Say active bookmarks. Enter and tab over. And let's create another quote block that says resources, return shift, and let's do tools, return, and articles. I want these to be quick links to different database views from clips. So let's go back to clips, go to active, go to the three dots here and copy link to view. So this will copy to your clipboard. Go back and I can highlight active bookmarks and just paste it over the text. And now I have a link right to active bookmarks. There's another one for resources and another for archived. So let's actually go here, copy link to view, paste, another one to resources, you get the idea. So I do not have a tools database view. I'm going to make that. Maybe from active, let's duplicate it. Call this one tools. And in properties, remove type, filter. I'm going to add a filter here that says type is tool. Copy a link to that view and paste it in. Just going to delete this colored block up here and let's create another area here for all of the favorited clippings. What I want to put here is a linked database. To quickly create a linked database, go down to your original. I want a link from clips, go to the menu and copy link. That'll be copied to the clipboard. And from here, I'm just going to add a new block below and I'm going to paste it in. Create linked database should be an option. And now we have all of the clips. So I want to add a view here and I want to make it a gallery. So all of these views you have in this linked database, you'll notice we have none of the original here. They are unique to this linked database. The only thing that's going to change in the original is if you delete or add entries to this linked database. So let's go to these three dots here, properties. I want to make sure that this card preview is none, and I do want to see the URL so I can quickly access this link. Also inside of properties, I want to change the card size to small. Bring this column over a bit so I can see two cards. I want to sort by created descending. And I want to create a filter here that says favorite is checked. So we have all our favorite clips here. I can give this a heading as well. Just bring an empty block above it. And I'm going to create a heading that says favorited or favorite web clippings. So one way you can decorate text in Notion is something called inline equations, or KTEX. So a way to do that is I can add $2 to the front of the text, and then another 2 to the end. It turns into this, and if you click on it, it'll give you a pop-up window. I can customize this text by going \large, for instance. So the text will be large. Another / for text, TT. Put this in brackets, our favorite web clippings text. And what this does is give me a large heading in the style of text TT. This is kind of like a typewriter style. I could also use text SF or BF for bold. Now below that, I want to create a cute divider. So in the original, you may have noticed that I have this here. And this is going to be available to just copy and paste inside the follow along page. Just going to paste that in. Those dots are using Alt and the number 8, or Option and the number 8. And then I have a space between each one. Now what I want to do is create another section right under here for areas. So I'm just going to highlight these two, Command D to duplicate, and drag that under this column here. Add a block below, delete some of these dots. And I'm going to do the same thing where I copy the link to areas, paste it, create linked database. I'm going to add a view for gallery and delete the original table. I'm going to drag over this column temporarily so I can get to the database menu. Go to Properties. Make sure I do not see any card preview, and card size is small. Just like that. And I'm going to change this text to Webclipper portals. So the last section down here under favorite clips is going to be ideas from the Webclipper. So this is going to be a link to projects. Just duplicate this heading and divider up here. Drag this down. Create a new block after clips. Maybe a new block under this divider and another one. Go to projects, block menu, copy link. Paste it underneath, create a linked database, and I'm going to turn this into a gallery. Go to the original table and delete it. Go to the database menu, go to Properties, and no card preview. Let's keep it a medium card size. Delete this untitled one. Now for this, I want the filter to say status is idea. So this is going to be called ideas from the Webclipper. Let's just change this. So I just want to see ideas, and also this filter needs to have from the Webclipper, that relation is not empty, so it's filled out. So this projects database or task manager may be somewhere else in your workspace, maybe somewhere in your sidebar. You can still work with it. With this connection, I'm showing you how you can connect your Webclipper to any task management system or any other database at all and create these windows. Speaking of windows, we're going to go over to areas and figure these out. So you'll notice that we do have a link to web clippings, and we can sort through this, but it's not very nice to look at, and over time can get overwhelming. So we do need to create a template as displayed here. Firstly, let's open this up as a page, and I'm going to click on web clippings and go to always hide. Let's bring all those web clippings into the body of the page. So create a template, open up as page, new area. You'll know you're editing in a template by this bar at the top, this beige bar. Now inside, I want to go /linked database, create a linked database. So one way you can create a linked database is by pasting in a link to the original database, or you can access it through the block menu. And it'll prompt you to search for what you're looking for. In this case, it's clips. Now that I have this link in here, I'm going to change the view to list. And I want this list, I'm going to rename it to active. I want to have 3 different database views inside of each area. One for active, and I'm going to go to properties and see a few things. Tags, don't need to see area because I know what area I'm in, but type would be nice, and the URL to navigate to. And what I may do is break this up a bit so it's easier to look at, but type under URL. I can also go to the database menu, go to sort, and we're going to sort by created descending as per usual. Now we're going to do something a little bit different and add a filter. You want to make sure these clips only associate with the area it is in. So we have to create a filter. Firstly, we should probably create one called archive is unchecked, and then another filter that says area. So we're in the Webclipper database. The area relation needs to match this template name. So contains, and it should be at the very top here, new area. It'll be empty for now. Now what I want to do is duplicate active and create archive. In archive, I'm just going to change the filter a little bit, make sure that archive is checked. The last database view is going to be grouped by tags. So this will be the table. But I want to change this table by going to the menu to list. Now in here, yes, I want to filter to new area, but I'm going to remove that for right now to just show you how this works and make sure that archive is removed as well. So no filters, we have our list here. Let's go to properties and toggle on some stuff we want to see, like URL and type. I also do not want to see tags because I'm going to group by tags. So let's say grouped by tags. Then in the middle, go to the database menu, go to group, of course, and group by tags. Hide empty groups, and there you go. So what I want to do here is actually move these properties around a bit. I want URL below type, and let's create a filter that says area contains new area. And archive is unchecked. So that's the filter. So we have 3. We have one for active, grouped by tags, and archive. They're all connected to this template. So if I go back, go to the dashboard, come down to our areas here, go to content creation, new area, it should populate all of my active web clippings connected to content creation, grouped by tags. All of those active clippings should be grouped by their tag, which you can toggle away, and archive. So I'm going to add this template to every single one of my areas. Click that template inside and it should all update. Let's say that you didn't really like this setup from the template, which happens to me a lot. Maybe I want to add another database view and it's like, oh, okay. What you're going to do is click on the database menu of that linked database, delete it. But make sure you delete the actual linked database and not all of the things inside of the linked database. You'll see your template new area. Go to the 3 dots to the side, the menu, and edit the template. Here you can go ahead and add new views. Go back and apply all of the changes to all of your area cards. And that's about it. I just wanted to share with you a recreation of that Webclipper dashboard template. I hope this was helpful. Let's go right into the outro. Okay, so that was a ton of fun to make. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, all relevant links are down below. Let me know how you guys felt about it, if you're going to be using it, what tips and tricks from the video you may be using for your workspace. And I'll see you guys the rest of the week on Twitter and next time with a new video. I'll see you then.